his kids go? Where's daughter?
Let's not get close to the gate, guys. They're gonna tell us to move.
The internet just exploded. Max B, the wave god himself, walked out of prison after 16 years, and before he could even catch his breath, 50 Cent was already online, turning the whole thing into chaos. And yeah, Jim Jones is right in the middle of it all. This might be the wildest comeback story of the year, and it's only just getting started. Max B touched down on November 9th. The countdown had been building for weeks. Fans posting daily updates, everyone hyping the release date like it was an album drop. Social media was flooded with throwback clips, old interviews, classic Max B tracks. People were genuinely emotional about this moment. And when he finally walked out, it wasn't quiet, cameras flashing, French Montana right there to greet him, the whole moment documented for the world to see. Harlem showed up for their legend. But within hours, 50 Cent jumped on Instagram and stirred the pot in the most 50 Cent way possible.
Where I be at? They ain't know we was out this early.
He posted a story calling Jim Jones Rico, straight up comparing him to the snitch character from Belly. The caption read, "Max is home, it's packed in harbor. Jimmy about to drop a dime on these ninjas, LOL. Classic 50 playing chess while everyone else is scrambling to react." He even posted a clip of DJ Woe Kid talking with Max about linking back up, where Max said, "Tell Boo Boo what's up," Boo Boo being 50's old street name. You could feel something brewing. The timing was perfect, the trolling was calculated, and 50 knew exactly what he was doing. He was reigniting old flames and getting everyone talking again. Now, if you're not familiar with Max B's story, let me bring you up to speed. This man was originally sentenced to 75 years for aggravated manslaughter, kidnapping, robbery, and conspiracy charges tied to a messy situation back in 2006.
When you went to jail, being that you had the streets on that much fire, what was that like? Let's just say the first month, not just for you, inmates, seeing Max B in here with that situation as hot as you was on the streets.
All that shit get tiring. I just want to chill.
Right.
The case involved a robbery that went tragically wrong, and a man named David Taylor lost his life. Max wasn't the shooter, but he was implicated in orchestrating the robbery alongside his stepbrother, Kelvin Leardom, who is now serving a life sentence. It's a heavy story. Someone did lose their life and all that, so rest in peace to them truly. In 2016, Max took a plea deal that reduced his sentence from 75 years down to 20 years for aggravated manslaughter. He ended up doing 16 years total before getting released. Throughout those 16 years, his fans never forgot about him. The music, the energy, the wave. People were literally counting down the days until he came home. His influence never died. If anything, it grew stronger as more artists started adopting his style and paying homage to what he created. And the second he got out, Max moved like he never left.
Yes, sir. Yo, my name call me La Ola. Where my baby's at? From UK.
He was in Harlem celebrating with his people, reconnecting with family and friends who held him down through the entire bid. The energy was electric. French Montana, who's been one of Max's most loyal supporters over the years, was right there documenting everything. French even posted that Max's release fell on his birthday, calling it the best gift he could get. That's real love right there. And of course, the internet immediately started bringing up the old tension between Max and Jim Jones, because that beef, it's legendary in hip-hop circles. Back in the mid-2000s, Max B was untouchable. He was part of the Diplomats era, running with Jim Jones and the whole Dipset movement. Rest in peace to Stack Bundles, who was right there with Max bringing that new sound to New York. Max had this smooth, harmonizing flow that nobody else was doing at the time. He made street rap feel emotional, almost musical. He'd be singing about pain, loyalty, money, and life in the streets like it was poetry over beats.
I'm asking you, and I asked you before, how do you feel about getting past differences with certain people?
I'm petty.
Right, hold on, because I'm trying to, Max B coming home. Where we at with that? Are you able to get past that?
No.
Fans were glued to every mixtape drop, every DVD interview, every phone call from Rikers Island where he'd be talking crazy and making people laugh. His mixtapes were legendary. Public Domain, Million Dollar Baby, Vigilante Season. These projects shaped the sound of New York rap in that era. He wasn't just making music, he was creating a whole vibe, a whole aesthetic. The wave wasn't just about the sound, it was about the lifestyle, the confidence, the way Max carried himself. He had this infectious personality that made even his beefs entertaining. People would tune in just to hear what wild thing he'd say next. But things fell apart between him and Jim Jones. The bond cracked over what many believe were financial and contractual disputes. Max felt like he wasn't getting his proper cut, that he was being taken advantage of while helping to build the Dipset brand. The disrespect got real ugly. We're talking public shots, interviews going back and forth, phone calls from jail where Max would go in on Jim, the whole culture watching it unfold in real time. And even though Max went away for 16 years, the internet never let that beef die.
Ever talk to Max B?
Nah. No reason to talk to him. I ain't putting him in jail. I got nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? And I also can't kick it while he's down and things like that. I'm adamant about saying that, man, you know? So it's really nothing that I would say to kind of...
People kept replaying old clips, bringing up old interviews, keeping the narrative alive like it happened yesterday. Max made it clear over the years that he felt betrayed. He'd given his loyalty to Dipset, helped build the movement, and felt like he got nothing in return when things went south. Jim, on the other hand, maintained that Max was moving reckless and making bad decisions that he couldn't co-sign. Two different perspectives, two different truths, and the fans were split down the middle picking sides. So when Jim Jones was recently asked about Max B coming home during an interview on the Let's Rap About It podcast with Mano, Dave East, and Fabulous back in October, people were watching closely. The interviewer asked him straight up if he could get past their differences now that Max was about to come home. Jim's response? No. Just flat out no.
Remember, right around this time, it's 2021, you said you were trying to end the beef between Jim Jones and Max B.
Yeah.
Is that squashed?
I put it in the air. It's up to Jim and Max. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Max is locked up, man.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when I speak to Max, Max tell me he got more shit to worry about. When I speak to Jim, you know what I'm saying, Jim is on his own time. So, I mean, they both grown men.
He said he's petty, and he's not interested in rocking with Max. The room got a little tense. You could tell the co-hosts weren't expecting such a direct answer. Now, to be fair, Jim clarified he's not out here looking for drama or trying to start street tension. In fact, a while back, he was reportedly seen taking a picture with Max B's son on a basketball court, probably somewhere in Harlem. That moment said a lot. It showed that whatever beef existed, it's not about violence or anything dark like that. It's just personal distance. Jim's been pretty clear about protecting his space and keeping his peace, and honestly, that's fair. Sometimes you just can't rock with certain people, and that's okay. It's not about hate, it's about boundaries. When you're dealing with old wounds, old betrayals, sometimes the healthiest thing is just to keep your distance and wish people well from afar. And Max B, he's actually been the bigger person in all this. Back in July 2025, months before his release, Max did an interview on Drink Champs where he addressed the Jim Jones situation. He said, "It's love, man. I want to start over." He made it clear that he's grown, he's matured, and he's not interested in keeping old beefs alive. He said he understands that Jim might not be ready to move past it, and that's okay. Max is focused on building something real, creating new music, and moving forward in a new lane. He's done with the old energy. 16 years in prison will change your perspective on what's really important in life. But of course, 50 Cent wasn't about to let this moment pass without getting his jokes off. And that's where things got interesting. Because 50's relationship with both Max B and Jim Jones is complicated.
Our good brother Max B has finally been released from prison after serving more than 15 years, and he's already making his presence felt. Here's everything he did in his first 24 hours free. Max B had originally received a 75-year prison sentence that was changed to 20 years after he pled guilty to aggravated manslaughter.
He's been cool with Max for years, hyping him up even while he was locked down. They've had mutual respect, and 50 has always acknowledged Max's influence on the game. But with Jim Jones, there's always been this back and forth energy. Sometimes they're cool, sometimes 50's taking shots. They've had their own beefs and reconciliations over the years. So when Max came home, 50 saw the perfect opportunity to troll Jim and get the internet buzzing. And it worked. Social media went crazy. People started pulling up old clips of Max B going off on Jim Jones, old interviews where they were throwing shots, tweets from years ago. The whole timeline got flooded with Dipset-era content, nostalgia mixed with drama, which is exactly what the internet loves. And whether you love him or hate him, 50 Cent knows exactly how to keep himself and everyone around him trending. He's a marketing genius. He turned Max B's release into a cultural moment, and now everyone's talking about it. That's what 50 does. He doesn't just comment on moments, he amplifies them, shapes them, and makes sure his name is attached to every viral conversation. But here's the thing. A lot of people online started asking, why are we celebrating this? Why is there all this attention for someone who served time for manslaughter? And honestly, those people are missing the point entirely. Nobody's out here glorifying what happened back in 2006. Nobody's celebrating the crime or the tragedy that occurred. They're celebrating the artist, the talent, the cultural impact. Fans grew up on Max B's music. His wave influenced an entire generation of rappers. People are just happy to see one of their favorite entertainers free and ready to create again. That's what this moment is about. It's about redemption, second chances, and the power of art to transcend circumstances. Every time someone comes home after doing years, the internet wants to turn it into a think piece. But it's like, relax. People are excited for the music, not the case. When somebody graduates college, we throw a whole party. When a kid finishes high school, they pull up in a foreign car with balloons flying. We celebrate achievements, milestones, and new beginnings. So why can't the culture show that same energy when one of its own finally comes home after years behind bars and wants to rebuild his life? It's about supporting someone's journey forward, not celebrating their past mistakes. And let's talk about Max B's actual impact on hip-hop, because people forget just how influential he was. That sing-song melodic flow over street content, Max was doing that way before it became mainstream. Drake, Wiz Khalifa, A$AP Mob, Future, they all took pieces of that wavy blueprint. Even Kanye West tried naming his album Waves, until fans and artists pushed back, saying he had to pay respect to the real wave god. Max made gangster rap feel emotional, almost soulful. He turned pain and loyalty into poetry. He could make you laugh and feel something deep in the same verse. That's why his music still hits today, because it came from a place that was raw, funny, and real all at once. Songs like Goon Music or Where Do I Go became anthems. His freestyles over classic beats showed his versatility. He could jump on any track and make it his own. The melodies, the ad-libs, the confidence, it all created a signature sound that the industry has been copying ever since. And he did it without the machine behind him, without major label push, just pure talent and hunger. So now with him home, people are realizing just how much he shaped hip-hop's direction. It's not just nostalgia, it's acknowledgement. The sound that dominates the charts today started in those Harlem hallways with Max B's voice echoing through mixtapes. That melodic street rap that's everywhere now, Max was the blueprint. That's why his return feels bigger than just another rapper coming home. It's the return of a whole era. And the culture is shifting again, making space for the OG to reclaim his throne. Max is already teasing new music. French Montana's been talking heavy, saying they've got something special lined up. Maybe even a full project to bring the wave back properly. Imagine Max B with today's production quality, with the perspective and wisdom that comes from 16 years of reflection. That's a powerful combination. And 50 Cent, being the genius he is, already turned it into a trending topic. Whether people love Max or hate him, his comeback is the talk of the culture right now. The man walked out of prison like a living legend, and you can feel that anticipation building. Harlem's watching, the internet's watching, and everyone's waiting to see if the wave god can really take over the game one more time. Because if Max B comes back with the same energy he had before, with 16 years of life experience and a whole new perspective, that's dangerous in the best way possible. He's got the hunger, the story, and the fan base already locked in. All he needs to do now is hit the studio and remind everyone why they called him the wave god in the first place. The music industry has changed completely since Max went away. Streaming dominates now. Social media is everything. Artists blow up overnight on TikTok, but the fundamentals remain the same. Real talent, real artistry, and authentic storytelling still win. And Max B has all of that in abundance. If he can adapt to the new landscape while staying true to what made him special, there's no limit to what he can accomplish. So here's my question for you. Do you think Max B can shake the game again? Can he reclaim his spot after being gone for 16 years? Or has the game changed too much? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you're excited to see what he does next. Share this video with someone who remembers the Dipset era. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. We're just getting started.